Hey everybody, today I wanted to watch this video with y'all about this guy right here just totally making an ass of himself for 3 minutes. Four minutes actually. It's pretty great.
All right, so did you hear about the president's comments about Baltimore the other day that people are getting upset about?
Yeah.
So he likens Baltimore to a third world country. What do you think about that?
Uh, it was ridiculously racist. I don't really think there's any other word for it but racist. And I think Elijah Cummings really has done a good job at standing up for his city, and I'm proud of the Democrats for doing the same.
What if I told you that in 2015 Bernie Sanders said that walking through Baltimore was like walking through a third world country?
What? It's almost like context or the broader picture of the event or events leading up to what they said kind of matter, right? Like if this was an isolated incident, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal. If this was like the first time Trump said something a little kind of maybe racist, but it wasn't. That's why this was kind of like the last straw for a lot of people. Holy shit. Yeah, this is kind of a blatantly racist thing for someone who's been accused of racism consistently to say. Yeah, that's so like it's almost like context does matter, right? Just a little bit.
You would think that you were in a third world country.
Right, yeah, no, they literally think that, the words by themselves, so just saying those words in that order is all that matters. Context doesn't matter to them. Like, holy shit.
What do you
I'm
think
not
about
really a Bernie Sanders fan, so I don't really care what he has to say.
Right. Also, Elijah Cummings, didn't he say that that it was a drug infested city? He did. He said the same.
Why did you ask that and then just be like, no, wait, he did? Like, this guy is awful. Get this guy off. I don't know if this is like Intern Tuesday or some bullshit like that, but this is the big leagues, okay? We can't be having these fuck ups, okay? This guy's awful. Someone needs to fire him. This guy needs to be boycotted from. This guy needs to be boycotted from politics. I'm sorry, I don't know what that was.
Same thing that Trump said.
I left my community of Baltimore, a drug-infested area.
How many years ago was that? That for okay, maybe C-SPAN. It could be 2019. C-SPAN doesn't have the most up-to-date camera equipment, but still, context does matter. Like the time, the reason, the events leading up to that statement. Like those all kind of matter, right? You can't just be like, well, they said it too, so they're racist, or Trump's not racist, or whatnot.
No, using the word. No, I'm done talking to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because
This guy does. Oh my
I don't want
god.
to talk to you anymore.
Hi, this is Matt Miller from the Daily Caller News Foundation,
Matt Miller needs to be fired.
and today we're asking people what they think of the president likening Baltimore to a third world country. The only thing is, Bernie Sanders was the one who likened Baltimore to a third world country in a speech in 2015.
So it's like 4 years ago. Okay, no, it's not that long ago. All right, yeah, sure. Like, what context did he say it in? Why did he say it? What was the reason for him saying it? What did he say after it? Like, these are all important. You're literally just trying to reverse racism, or just a classic whataboutism. What about the other side? They also said these things. Yeah, but it wasn't in the same context. It wasn't in the same demeanor. They didn't have the same racial or racist questions leading up to that. So those are kind of important when discussing this event.
The president never actually said that. Let's go see what people have to say.
I don't like it at all.
You don't like that he said that he liked?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you think it was like racist for him to call it a third world country?
Absolutely.
I think that the president shouldn't speak badly about any city that he is the president of.
Also, another thing I hate about these is they always like put in the dumbest people that they could find just to get their message across. Like this isn't news. This is like reality TV, but like propaganda.
It sounds like racism.
That just shows his continued racism. And
Do you think anybody that says that Baltimore is like a third world country should be representing our country at all, or?
no, because I think that likening that to a third world country it's ridiculous. This is our country.
I see rats in Baltimore. I think he hit it head on.
She found the one Trump supporter. She found the one Trump supporter. Also, that lady was definitely not talking about, like, rats. I don't know what she was talking about. Maybe corrupt politicians. Maybe Jews. You can never tell nowadays. It's terrifying.
Has he been to Baltimore?
What if I told you that the president actually, he didn't call it a third world country. Bernie Sanders, in a speech in 2015, said that walking through Baltimore
It's not sensitive. Anybody.
Okay. Yeah, the president said it was rat infested. Do you think that that is okay to say?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay. Even if it's true that it was, like, there are rats in Baltimore?
Mac Miller, whatever your fucking name is, you need to find another job because you're gonna be on the unemployment line real soon. You really went with the argument. Well, I mean, there's rats. I mean, there are rats in Baltimore. Yeah, but there's, like, you know, if you want to call a city rat infested, you'd probably want to start with New York. Then I would probably get called an anti-Semite, because, you know, when you say a city's rat infested, people don't typically think you're talking about the rats. Because who the fuck would just be like, this city's rat infested, we need to do something about the rats? People immediately jump to, well, he's obviously talking about other things. And it seemed like Trump was obviously talking about other things, other people. Like, the real defense would be he's talking about corrupt politicians. Because there is corruption in Baltimore, I believe that is a problem. So you could say he was referencing that. He probably wasn't. He might have been. Who the fuck knows? But that was the dumbest defense of Trump's statements I've ever heard. Well, I mean, there are rats in Baltimore, so it's technically true.
Rats everywhere, not just in Baltimore. So just why pick on Baltimore?
Actually, Bernie Sanders in 2015
I'm surprised they left that in.
said that walking through Baltimore was like walking through a third world country. What do you think about that?
Sorry, I didn't heard about that.
Do you think it was racist for him to say that?
Maybe. Sorry, I have no opinion about that.
Do you think, are you like surprised?
Yeah, I don't know why they left these in. Are these like the best takes that they could find? Is like some guy just being like, I don't know anything, and like everyone else just being like consistently like, yeah, no, I'm gonna be consistent. My views are both bad.
Surprised by that? What do you think about that?
It does surprise me. Yeah.
He would say that?
Yeah. It does, yeah.
So, actually, what if I told you Bernie Sanders in 2015 said that walking through Baltimore was like walking through a third world country? What do you think about that?
I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan. I really don't know enough about him to understand why he is the way he is.
So,
you mean Jewish? Wait, what? No, seriously, what did she mean by the way he is? Like, she either means, like, that's a polite way of saying, like, I don't want to vote for a Jew, or she thinks he's, like, socialist or something, like, hardcore commie.
So actually, in 2015, Senator Bernie Sanders, said walking through Baltimore was like walking through a third world country. Do you think? Are you surprised to hear that Bernie Sanders would say that?
I am a bit surprised, yes. Yeah. I think that every single country or region in the world has its own advantages and disadvantages, and to compare something to a third world country in itself is a bit always an overstatement in a sense.
Do you think there's a racist element to that at all? Calling it a third world country?
Yes, I think so, yeah. I mean, I think that demographic issues should never really be a characteristic.
For such a dumb question that she obviously wasn't very prepared to, like, answer or, like, know that much about, she gave a pretty well thought out answer. I'll give her credit for that. I mean, it wasn't the right answer, but given the circumstances, it was a pretty damn good one. But yeah, that's the whole thing, is she tried to give a good answer to a really, really, really dumb and simplistic question, and it really shows here.
Of a country or a region that people pick on, and I think that that's a bit, yeah, you're right, that's a bit racist, yeah.
Okay. So even when Bernie Sanders said it, it was racist to do.
It doesn't matter who says it.
Yeah, like, he's literally just trying to push a, like, political narrative here, and it's very clear. He's just like, oh, well, like, so it's racist when Bernie Sanders says it too. Like, so they're either, like, they don't, like, he doesn't know what he's going for. Is Trump not racist and Bernie Sanders is? Does it really not, excuse me, does it really not matter? Or is actually both of them racist? Well, if you're trying to make both of them seem racist, I don't know how you're going to successfully make Bernie Sanders look like a racist when he literally got arrested for fighting for the civil rights. Way back in the, 60s? 70s? Shit, I need to brush up on my history. But he got arrested for, fighting the good fight way back when, before it was cool. So you can't really be like, oh, well, he's racist. Yeah, he might have said something that might make people uncomfortable, but pointing out that there is crime or poverty in an area isn't a bad thing as long as you're doing it for the right reasons. As long as you're pointing at it and being like, hey, we need to fix this, not they need to fix this because it's their problem, because they're poor and crime infested. No, it's all of our problem. We need to help. We need to be there to lend a helping hand, not, turn away our backs and be like, go fuck yourself. That's just my opinion. But yeah, other than Mac Miller needing to get fucking fired, I also miss Mac Miller a lot. Shit, this has got real sad. So I'm going to go cry for a little bit. But until then, I will catch you guys on a flip-flop, on the flip-flop.